Cześć
Okay,
widzowie,
if I need-
witam
if it needs
wszystkich
to go up or
oglądających
down.
to na YouTubie.
Just as a
Jestem po
heads up.
24
Okay, with that
godzinach
being said,
streama
10, 9,
właśnie,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
to
and here
oglądam.
we go. Muting mic.
Więc oglądamy zapowiedź nowego patcha w
I'm
GGG.
Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2.
Oho,
Well,
to nie
we're
u
back from
mnie.
our break. We've been playing the game a whole lot, and we've been reading a whole lot of feedback as well. So it's time to assess and work out what we're going to do next. Now, later this week we'll be releasing PoE 2 0.1.1. This is a patch designed to address the concerns that we can address relatively quickly,
Co będzie?
without needing to create a new league or a new economy
Buff
just yet.
Warriora.
In this video we'll be going over some of the issues
Tablety
we've identified
zmienione.
and what we're planning on doing about them.
Nerf
It's worth
rangerki.
stressing that just because a specific issue isn't on this list doesn't
Path
mean that
of
we're not aware of
Exile.
it or that it
Path
isn't going to
of
get
building.
addressed. It just means that we either can't fix the problem quickly or we can't do so without the need for a new economy.
Ta, by dali,
One of the major areas
czwartak,
that needs a
nie?
lot of attention is the
Endgame
base
mapping.
experience of mapping. We've made a lot of changes here. First,
mogę się
in-game
też
maps have
wyżej.
received a balance pass to the number of monsters, number of chests, number of magical rare monsters, number of essences, strongboxes and precursor artifacts.
Balans liczb
You should
wszystkich
generally
rzeczy na
find maps
mapach,
more rewarding
okej?
than before. Maps generally specialize in one or more of these elements that they will be particularly
W
rewarding.
jakiej tragicznej jakości to jest?
Now, towers are a thing that's very important for players to run often, but we only had one of them. We wanted to add more variety here as soon as possible.
Co to jest za mapa?
so we've
Ja
added
nie
4
widziałem.
more tower maps. Alpine Ridge,
O,
Sinking
to są do
Spire.
tabletów, będą nowe typy map. Nie, jakość jest
Bluff.
tragiczna.
and Mesa.
Zajebiście, nowe typy mapek do tabletów, to
Also redone the
zajebiste.
existing Lost Towers map to make playing there less boring.
O, widzisz. I jeszcze
We're now also spawning more maps with bosses. The rate was
Więcej
intended
map
to
z
be 1 of
bossami.
4 maps,
Okej,
but in
to
reality
sustain
the
map
rate was
też
much
będzie
lower due to
łatwiejszy.
some maps being unable to spawn bosses. We've increased the rate to compensate for this issue so that we can get the actually intended rate. We're also adding a new type of tablet that allows you to add bosses to your maps with its own mod.
tablet z bossem. Zajebiste.
Strongboxes also needed some love. They now spawn monsters faster,
Yes!
have a less annoying fog effect,
Wreszcie
and have also
strongboxy
received
będzie
changes to
można
the
robić
timing
w ogóle na
effects of the
mapach.
bottom.
Ja bym chciał,
Now,
żeby był
let's talk
jeszcze
about
szybciej tylko
visibility of
jeden.
effects. Many maps had too much clutter,
Aha,
preventing effects on the ground from
widoczność.
rendering, causing you to be unable to see and dodge them. We've both changed the level of clutter on some maps and changed some effects to make sure that they are always visible.
Efekty bardziej widoczne.
In addition,
Zajebiście.
elemental explosion effects have had visibility improved. Stick around for longer before they explode and disappear without exploding if a rare monster dies. Volatile plants are also way easy to see before they explode.
Te volatile
Now, we've
plancy
also
czy aż
increased the
tak
zoom
bardziej
level on the
widoczne?
Atlas, done a pass on various terrain collision issues in many maps. We've also improved the load times of opening the world map and Atlas panel. And we also now show the biome of the
Widzicie,
map
jaka
on
jest
the top of
różnica pomiędzy GGG robiącym to a
other
Blizzardem,
in-game
gdzie
content
Blizzard
systems, we're
odpala i
focusing on
mówi
getting all
tak,
the
tak,
rewards in line with what
słuchamy,
they should
tak,
be.
tak, potrzebujemy
For Delirium, we
feedbacku.
recently fixed a bug which caused Delirium monsters to just not spawn after the starting part. And we've also buffed the rate of simulacrum
A
dropping by
GGG
20%
wszystko, co gracze
to make it
myśli.
more in line with the rate of finding the expedition and ritual bosses. For Ritual, we've made omens now appear in the Ritual Tribute window 60% more often.
Więcej omenów, też
For
bardzo
Expedition, we've
dobrze.
improved the rarity from the shops, but we'll be wanting to make some more substantial changes to the rewards for this league later on. Now, one of the major concerns that we're often seeing is that getting to play
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle content just takes too long, and that when you do finally get there, you only get one attempt and don't get a chance to learn the
O,
boss.
to będzie najciekawsze.
In order to address these concerns, we're making the following changes. First, we're making the Citadel spawn closer to the center of the Atlas, and we've also added
Szybciej
an effect so you can
Cytadele.
see them in the Fog of War from further
O,
away.
efekty
This makes them
Citadel
much
w
easier to find.
Fogowłorze.
To address the problem of only having one attempt, on the Arbiter of Ash you will now get up to 6 respawn attempts.
6
Respawns
respawnów
can
na
only be triggered by
arbiterze.
the person who put in the keys, and everyone on your party will be respawned at the same time. Leaving the map still forfeits your attempt, so you'll still need to fight the boss with the build you walked into the map with.
No to jest...
Higher difficulties of the
powrócili do
boss will
tego.
lower the number of respawn attempts you get, but you should know the mechanics of the fight by then, right?
No jakoś to jest
Now, we'll also be
tragiczne.
adding respawns to other Pinnacle content as well over time.
Ja
Another thing
myślałem,
that
że
players
dadzą
have noticed
3
is
na
that there are less
przykład.
keys from Faradin Citadels on the market, and thought that it was because the Citadel spawns less often. It turns out, though, that this is just because the boss kills players more often than the others. We've made a few changes to that boss to bring it in line with the other bosses. A lot of people have reported that many of our unique items are feeling underwhelming. Uniques are often designed to be build enabling at high levels, even if they're low level uniques. But we realized that we do need to make sure that more uniques feel powerful when you first get them.
O,
at low
rework
levels too.
uników. Już!
In this patch, we are buffing a lot of uniques.
Już, kurwa,
These
rework
changes should make
uników!
finding uniques at lower levels a lot more fun. And make
Ale
subsequent character
zajebiście.
playthroughs more fun too. when you have
Fajnie,
some
tylko
great
nic się
uniques to use.
przeczytać nie da. Taka
We're
jakość.
also changing a few other things to make finding rares better at higher levels too. First, we're changing mod weightings a bit to make sure that there are less bad mods. Another fix is making high tier items no longer cull the highest tier modifier of a given mod type. This bug caused bows and crossbows to not spawn with attack speed at tier 5 rarity, and rings to not spawn with life at tier 5 rarity. Another change we're making is to make it so that socketables such as runes can now be overwritten with another socketable.
O, kurde, myślałem, że
As we continue
karencji
to
do
play,
tego
you
dodadzą,
still
że to
find
miało
many balance
koszt.
anomalies with specific monsters or bosses that can be nasty if you encounter them. This patch contains a pass adjusting a large number of those
A
monsters
nie,
and
z
bosses.
sokietami to bym
We'll save
wolał,
the fullest for the
żeby
patch
było
notes, but
karencji
there
do
are a significant
wyciągania.
number of changes here that should address many cases where monsters or bosses felt too hard in certain circumstances. Here are a few examples to get a taste of what kind of changes you can expect. The Silver Fist Commander roll now does a lot less damage. Plague Bearer's Detonate Dead can no longer be used from off-screen and has better telegraphing. Forsaken Miners throw less grenades, have improved visuals and
O,
deal
to
less damage.
dobrze. Tych
And
nożowników
Lost
jeszcze
Men Zealots can no
powiedzcie.
longer meteor you from off-screen either, as well as many other changes just like those. One
Nic
of
z
the big
tymi
issues for players on
chaosowymi.
consoles is that the web-based item filter system is currently not working. This means that they can't use item filters like the PC users can. For 0.1.1,
Też mi
we'll
się
be
wydaje,
enabling the same
że
system that
zmiana
PoE1 has, which allows
socketów
you to
powinna mieć
subscribe to item
koszt.
filters on the website. For now, this will be done on the PoE1 website to allow us to get this feature out as fast as possible. Later on, we'll improve the user experience of this and put it on the Path of Exile 2 website. This patch also contains a bunch of other smaller changes and bug fixes that I'm sure you guys will appreciate, like buffing armor and scavenged plating, showing the number of uses left in your charms, as well as an effect when they trigger,
O, efekty czarmów wreszcie widać.
The Exiles.
fixing the music that Una was supposed to play in town,
O,
and plenty of other little fixes and improvements throughout the game. Now, we have a huge amount of much more meta-shifting changes that we know we want to make. And one of the best things about having the game in early access with the endgame is that we now have a much better idea of where we want character power to be and what the balance of bosses and monsters should be relative to that. But those types of changes are going to have to wait until we are ready to make a new league with a new economy for people to play in. That's still a little while away yet, but in the meantime, we'll be continuing to identify things that are causing frustration and try and address them. I want to thank you guys for playing and hope to be doing more of these
za
in the
wysoko
future.
mu prompter
Later.
dali.
All right, so there you have it. Pretty awesome. We
Zajebiście.
are now going to call them, get them ready for the interview. So we're going to go to a screen here that is a be right back type of screen here. You will hear no audio, and it'll just be a blank screen for probably 5-10 minutes at the highest. And now we're going to do an interview about what we just
Ja
saw.
nie oglądam
So
wywiadu.
give us one
Nie
moment
oglądam widzowie wywiadu. Jezu, jakie sceny sobie przygotowali. Ja nie oglądam wywiadu, szczerze mówiąc. Kurwa, no nie no, powiem wam, że no klasę pokazali, klasę. Nie robią, sami sobie zebrali wszystkie informacje, sami wszystko wiedzą, co potrzebują. Wzięli po prostu, powiedzieli, jakie będą zmiany od razu. Są świadomi tego, co trzeba w grze zmienić. No i kurwa, essa, no i do przodu. No i co tu więcej można mówić tak naprawdę? No tak być powinno, nie? I tak być powinno. 10 minut i więcej kontentu niż Blizzard przez kilka godzin na Campfire czacie, który nic nie wnosi, nie? Nic nie wnosi, nic nie zmienia, a dajcie spokój. No GGG, przyszłość gamingu. No to co, idziemy grać w Dotę, nie? I jeszcze żaden skin nawet nie został zapowiedziany, słuchajcie, w tym wszystkim. Żaden skin, żadne battle passy nie zostały zapowiedziane. Nie no, noc jeszcze młoda. Słuchajcie, gram w Dotę. Wiecie ile? Wiecie, że jeżeli bym przestał grać dzisiaj, po pierwszym meczu, to byłbym dokładnie w tym samym miejscu, w którym jestem teraz? Rozumiecie to, kurwa?